broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Whoa, okay, this is Breaking Into Reality. Thank you for tuning into our show. I'm Sheila Conlon, your host, and this is Tim Ferretti, my co-host.
Hello.
Hi, you can tweet me at ConlonCo TV. And Tim?
You can tweet me at TFerretti, 2 R's, 2 T's, LA. At TFerretti LA. Yes, there we go.
So every week on Breaking Into Reality, our special guests will share their breaking into reality success stories, tell us how they did it and how their life has changed since reality TV. And each week we're going to talk about the oldest shows out there, one coming up that's been on for a long time, and the newest, and we're going to talk about reality stars that are taking the world by storm. We're going to inform you about casting opportunities worldwide, and I get the distinct pleasure to give you my expert advice and insider tips to find out if reality TV is right for you and if you're the next reality TV star. So before we get started with that, we do want to introduce our special guest, Chef Scott Commings, season 12 Hell's Kitchen winner.
That's right.
Yes, and now he is he is head chef at Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill at Caesars in Las Vegas. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I know, and
This
I know this is such a fun time. So basically, before we get started with you, Chef Scott, and we get to hear your story, Tim is going to give us a rundown of all the casting opportunities out there for our listeners. Because listen, if you don't get out there and audition, there's no way you can become a reality TV star like Chef Scott. So, Tim, give us a rundown, and we'll come back and talk to Scott.
Thank you, Sheila. This is Tim Ferretti, and I'm here with your casting traffic report. So, as Sheila said, each week I'll keep you up to speed on the latest open calls, auditions, and casting opportunities for your favorite shows. So, let's get started. NBC's juggernaut The Voice has 2 open call locations left for its summer 2015 audition. So, all the singers out there, they're taking place in Los Angeles, July 25th and 26th. So, go to NBCTheVoice.com for more information. Fox's American Idol, the final season, last one, has some remaining open audition dates as well. So August 2nd in my hometown in Philadelphia, August 8th, Little Rock, Arkansas, and September 15th in San Francisco. So AmericanIdol.com has more information about the actual locations, and plus some audition dates for the American Idol bus tour. ABC's Shark Tank has 1 open call date lined up, and that's July 29th in Portland, Maine, and ABC.com has more information on that. And there's only 1 open call date left this summer for ABC's The Bachelor Season 20, our friends over at The Bachelor, July 23rd in Northfield, Ohio. Visit thebachelor.warnerbros.com for more open call information. And our friends over at Food Network have a host of shows that are casting right now. They include Guys Grocery Game, Spring Baking Championship, Chopped, Holiday Baking Championship, Kids Baking Championship, Taco Trip, The Great Food Truck Race, Rachel Ray's Kids Cook-Off, Beat Bobby Flay, who is Chef Scott's neighbor over in Las Vegas, Cutthroat Kitchen, Mystery Diners, and Restaurant Impossible.
Hey, did we get any calls to cast any of those shows? I don't recall.
I'm not sure, Sheila. You could answer that question better than I could.
Like, Food Network, you're on fire.
Yeah.
Come on.
And Lifetime Sex Sent Me to the ER is now casting for new episodes. They are looking for fun, lively couples. You know, whether you're together, married, broken up, dating. They're casting nationwide, so they're in search of stories of sexual mishaps that ended you up in the hospital or doctor's office. So email our friends over at GRB at apply@sexsentmecasting.com. And finally, MTV's Real World has announced its open call locations for this summer. So July 25th in Boston, July 25th in Miami Beach, July 25th in Kansas City, Missouri, August 1st in Philadelphia, August 1st in San Francisco, August 4th in Albuquerque, and August 8th in Burbank, California, as well as Oklahoma City, and finally August 15th in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And you can go to bmpcasting.com for more information about those casting dates.
Oh my God, Real World? That started back in like 1992.
Cool. Yes.
I know. That was sort of like the progenitor to all reality, I think.
Yes, and they're now on season 31.
Oh, wow.
And so you'll remember 2 seasons ago they switched up the format a little bit. They put a little spin on it with Explosion, and that's when they brought all the housemates, ex-boyfriends and girlfriends into the house. And then they continue that trend with the skeletons, and now we don't know what the spin is. We don't have that information, but they keep that very confidential until the casting process has concluded.
Which is true. We don't like to let some of those secrets out. But hey, welcome back, Real World. That's awesome. Actually, it's
Love
pretty cool.
show.
I know.
And I'm Tim Ferretti, and that was your casting traffic report.
That's a big traffic.
Thank you.
That's like LA traffic.
Yeah, we got the pulse. We got the pulse.
Well, that means that reality is doing well. It's good.
Yes.
So thank you, Scott. But
welcome.
now let's get to Scott, because we are so happy to have you here. Hell's Kitchen is one of our favorite things. One of my favorite things as well. And I think a lot of people out there might remember that you were known as the comeback chef for Hell's Kitchen, and that's like in history, the whole history of Hell's Kitchen, you sort of had something special, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, tell us more about what you're doing now.
So, so after the show, I came out to Las Vegas and offered a position at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in Caesar's Palace at the Pub and Grill. So I think came out, checked out Vegas, decided if it was right for us, and went back home. And I think 3 weeks later, we packed the U-Haul and headed cross country from Chicago area and landed in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had you been to Vegas before? I mean, everybody.
Never.
You had never been?
Never been. I'd never been to Vegas until I came to check out Caesar's Palace and met with the food and beverage department there, and that was actually literally my first trip to Vegas. So my first trip to Vegas, roll into town, first day, meet with food and beverage, HR, do the whole thing. Second day, look for a place to live. Third day, fly home. That was my first experience in Vegas.
No late nights, no chicken ranch or whatever.
I don't even know if there was a hangover. Yeah,
there was no hangover.
There was no hangover.
That's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is, tell us a little bit about the restaurant and what you do there. Because that's a pretty big, you won. That's a hefty role to take on.
That's huge.
Responsibility.
That's huge.
So what is that like?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough to work with Caesar's Palace and the group there, and of course Gordon Ramsay's team. What an opportunity for me to work with that caliber of individuals. First off, and the class act at Caesar's Palace and everything that they do on a daily basis. But it's an absolutely incredible position, being head chef at Gordon Ramsay's Pub and Grill, and yeah, it's massive. It is just like Vegas. Vegas is massive, and so is that place.
Like you said, like how many covers in a day?
It's huge. It's well over 1,000 covers a day, and
oh my God,
and more and more by the day. Of course, having Gordon Ramsay's name on the front is a fantastic place to be, and so really it's a day in and day out giant operation.
So tell me, you must. Vegas is filled with celebrities. So how many celebrity sightings? Do they come in and eat? Do they?
Yeah, we've had some. I don't really know exactly who, but we've had several into our establishment. Of course, they're all over Vegas all the time. Of course, the acts that Caesar's Palace brings in. Right now from Mariah Carey's there right now. We have Celine Dion. Big announcement. She's coming back at the end of August, which is going to be huge.
Right.
For Las Vegas and of course for Caesar's Palace, and so we're lucky to have all of that great focus, on our place.
I wonder what you'll make for her. What do you think she'll order? Celine Dion wants to order.
I'm sure that they have their own private little function on the side. I don't know.
You never know. They're going to go Chef Scott over at Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I want that special burger or something. Well, what about the menu?
Yeah.
You know, so you walked into the menu.
So,
did you get to add something to it, or how does that work?
So of course, I mean, you know, we're being as busy as we are. We do have a corporate group, of course, Gordon Ramsay's corporate office and stuff. Everybody kind of has a hand in joining a team like we do there. We all kind of put in when menu changes go on and things like that, and we get things moving. But our fare is, you know, we are the English pub.
Yep.
So a lot of our fare is just that you know, that standard English fare with our American twist on it. You know, we have got, you know, all from our, you know, the shepherd's pie, you know, the fish and chips. You know, we have to have those, and but we do some great seasonal items as well, and put them on the menu. And you know, when we have fresh vegetables, depending on the season, everything changes over.
Which is something that you love, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Something fresh from the garden.
Yeah.
And what about that sticky toffee pudding?
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
I know. It's like one of my favorites. I'm like, and I know that's one of Gordon's favorites too. So there's also a lot of competition there. I mean, this is Vegas.
Sure.
How many restaurants? I don't even know. And
a lot.
Then you have Bobby Flay right across the world, and we know the big controversy, Gordon, Bobby. So how does that play out?
I don't think it plays out as much as you may think. You know, we all do our own thing, and they put out an incredible product as well, and what they do day in and day out over there.
Right.
Just like every other restaurant on the Strip and what everybody's going on. So there's this really great camaraderie with the chefs and the restaurateurs in Las Vegas, and it really is a small town, you know, and you get to know everybody and what everybody's doing, and everybody changes and maybe goes somewhere else, but everybody is collaborative. Everybody is together, and you follow people from where they go next to a different restaurant and see what they're doing, and so everybody keeps in contact, and it's a really great atmosphere in the culinary world.
That's got to be exciting, though, because, you know, when somebody's good, and I mean, it happens even in my business, it's like you train people and you teach them the secrets and the tips, and, you know, and you know, nurture their talent, and then next thing you know, they're going to go work over there.
Yeah.
And being such a small town, that's like, oh my God, you see someone walk away, but everybody's got to grow and move on. I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, you hate to see people go, and but you really. There's such great growth, of course, just in Las Vegas in general, and the restaurant scene, the culinary scene. You can, whatever you want to do, it's there. You know, really, truly. So you know,
and there's enough people visiting to accommodate.
We're lucky. There is not a stoppage of individuals coming in.
Right, right. I know.
So Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill actually just was honored with Best British Pub of 2015.
Yeah.
Well,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're super excited to have that, and you know, of course, we promoted that everywhere we could.
Well, my gosh, you come on the scene.
Yeah.
2014. 24 or 15. Did you get there
2014.
Yeah, so 2014.
So September 2014, yeah.
Jeez, and then they get an award. You get an award on 2015.
Well,
this is good.
I'd like to take any kind of credit for that, but I cannot. No, we have an incredible staff of people, and you know, I mean, it's a restaurant business. This is not an easy business to be in, and we all work very hard together as a group, collaboratively, to get these things done that we need to. So no, it's a great honor.
So that I know. So congratulations. And how much fun, and it feels so celebrity-like too there, right? Because everything is so glitz and glamoury.
I don't know, you guys. Yeah. Sitting on the outside here behind this booth, you might say, "Oh, this must be great," you know. But no, this is a restaurant. You know, I'm sorry, this isn't Princess's Castle. You know, by any means. This is a restaurant, and restaurants all run pretty much the same. It is hard, and so you know, we, like I said, we all have to work together and maintain stability and do everything in our crazy daily lives that we put on
to keep it going.
Of course.
Well, let's go. So now you're here. I mean, this is where you've landed, and this is what you're doing now, which is amazing. Let's talk about life before Hell's Kitchen. Like, you know, and this show is about breaking into reality and hearing the stories of how it happened for you, how you made it happen. What light bulb went off in your head, or what moment did you decide, you know what, I'm going to try out for Hell's Kitchen. This is what I want to do. Or even, let's even go one step before that, about being a chef.
Yeah.
You know, where did you grow up? Where did you get your first taste of, you know, the food business, or like, oh my God, I love this, I have to do this? Let's start with that.
You know, it's funny. I always kind of worked in restaurants. It was my first job when I was 13 years old. I got a dishwashing job at a restaurant, a local restaurant in our small town, and got a dishwashing job. And I was always able to really maintain a job in a restaurant somewhere. It's not as easy as it was today. Like back then, you can walk into any restaurant. Every restaurant's needy. Every restaurant is needy. They need people, and so you could always get a restaurant. So I've always worked in restaurants since I was young. I went to college, not thinking I was going to stick with this business. If I was going to school actually to be a math teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, and but still always had a job in a restaurant because it helped me get through school and everything else, and then I just kind of fell away from doing the whole math thing, and just kind of sat back and just thought, I've always done this, like I know how to do it. So I ended up going to culinary school and finishing culinary school, and then had an incredible internship at a restaurant, the Strongbow Inn in Valparaiso, Indiana. It's like my second family, and they really brought me in to show me the ins and outs of the full restaurant and banquet center that and convention center that they had. And really urged me to keep going to school and keep learning. So I ended up graduating from Purdue University to the hotel restaurant management, and had an opportunity to do that, which I'm very fortunate. And just kept working hard and growing, and then finally moved back to Wisconsin and found a chef position and continued movement forward.
Well, and you grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
Too. So you kind of, from, as they say, the food comes from the ground.
Yeah.
The meat, absolutely, the grass, the vegetables. Here, I'm picking it all out. Grassroots is what I'm trying to say. So you really got a feel for where it comes from, growing up with it, and then all of a sudden, going through school and all of that. That's pretty awesome.
I'd like to say I had an appreciation younger, but because it was so prevalent and it was just something that was just natural for us. Like my mom always laughs at us when we talk about organic food. She's like, I don't know why everybody makes it, but that's all we used to grow because we didn't put anything on our vegetables. They just grew, and we are all out there picking weeds all the time. We didn't throw anything on to get rid of the weeds, and so she always laughs about that. But I was very fortunate to be growing up on a farm that I had both parents at home that my mom baked bread, and we grew our own vegetables, and we canned, and we did all that stuff that we ate really well growing up. And so being a chef now comes the appreciation part. Before it was great, but of course growing up as a kid you don't appreciate stuff before you look back on it. But now looking back on it, that's the appreciation, that's the special time. That's what's truly at the heart of what everybody's talking about now, about getting back to food and getting back to natural and getting back to what it should be about.
Right, and so many people just grew up with canned food.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to not do that. Canned food was like a treat. It was like candy for us,
Right, right. So did you find Hell's Kitchen, or did Hell's Kitchen find you?
Well, I did. Believe it or not, I did get a cold call out of the blue from in the middle of nowhere. I think I remember we were walking into a restaurant, my wife and I got this call, and he's like, "Hey, are you interested, in this and coming down for an interview and Hell's Kitchen and blah blah blah?" I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
I'm like,
how'd you get my number?
I'm like, honestly, I don't think I need that in my life right now. I'm like, I don't. He's like, well, come on, He's like, why? What? So I started talking, and we started talking more and more, and it turned out I was with the university, so I was going downtown anyway that next day, or the couple days after that, and so I ended up meeting up and doing an interview.
Were you familiar with the show at that point?
Yeah, I was familiar with the show. And of course, always familiar with Gordon Ramsay and that. So and went through and did the video shoot for an interview, and ended up getting a call back, and then a trip to LA, and did all this stuff, and then got a call and said they wanted me for the show. And so I at that point, I talked with my wife, and she's like, "Are you kidding me? Of course you have to do this. You have to." I'm like, all right, well, I guess this is what I'm doing now.
Right,
and
right.
so yeah, so it was.
That's interesting because that's a good team, Conlon Company part. We seek out the best.
Such a great team.
That's right. We seek out the best of the best. But it was interesting, to cold call, find you, and of course we have tons of people that are finding us and calling us, so we love it.
Yeah.
But one thing that did stand out to me in your application, which we're going to talk about later about my tips on how to fill out an application, how to stand out, and what really makes a difference. You really made a difference on your application. And I'm trying to remember, I have to look at my notes. You had a bread business. Mm-hmm. You were working at Loyola University, which I thought was an interesting job as a chef, working at this university, but had a farm. And you said you loved your job. Which, most of my applications that I'm seeing from chefs are like, oh my God, my job is hard.
My job, yeah.
It's so hard. I need something better. So I love the fact that you said you loved your job, but you wanted more progression. You wanted to go the next step. So that was interesting. And your culinary dream, another big, tip here is that you did say you wanted to own your own restaurant. That was your dream. Yeah. So those things stand out as a casting director. And I have to say, your audition was unique and passionate, and we have it here with us today just to sniff it. So we want to show you.
I hope it's the right snippet.
We have a clip of your
Miss Conlon.
original
I hope it's
audition.
the right snippet.
Yes, it is. Let's see.
I don't teach. I did told you. I don't teach. I'm not a culinary instructor, sir.
Because remember,
Yeah.
Grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin, just north of Madison. The proper way to milk a cow, you squeeze your index finger and thumb on the top of the teat closest to the udder, and you work your other fingers down to squeeze the milk.
I thought you'd be playing this
squeeze,
one. Yeah.
work your fingers down to squeeze it out.
my God.
The cows had to come out from the pastures beyond. Hay had to be baled and put in the barn every year. Chickens need to be fed. Eggs need to be gotten. Milk had to be gotten from the barn to get into the house. It's hard work. Being part of the hard worker that I am today, it's because of that. No weekends. It is the no holidays off. It's the restaurant schedule, but it's your life, and it's okay. Food is meaningful to me. It's meaningful to everybody. Everybody sits down to a restaurant. Everybody has an opportunity to sit down. You have one chance to make an impression on somebody, one chance to bring a memory about, one chance to turn their day around. You do have a lot of opportunities within food to do more than just feed somebody. Okay. So it's really, it's my passion. It's my love.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Chef.
That's what we loved.
Yeah. That's where it all began.
Yeah.
That's where it began.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I mean, you did. You got
crazy.
across. Another thing we'll talk about on my, tips and advice for filling out application, an interview process. Your interview, your energy was there. You're passionate. You were motivated, and you really spoke from the heart. I mean, that was pretty true. I was like, look at the card. Okay, this guy's for real. This was authentic. He's for real. Yeah.
Well, you have to be.
Yeah. So fast forward to, you did say you got the call to be on the show, and so your wife Tiffany was like, go for it.
Yeah, she was. She's always been behind me 100%, and she's always the one that when I'm like no, she's like no, go. She's the pusher, So she's everything that pushes me forward to keep moving and keep progressing and doing everything I'm doing.
So do you think, is there anything that you wish you would have been more prepared for going in?
I don't, that show in particular, I can't speak for other reality shows, but that show in particular, you can't ever prepare yourself for anything like that, Yeah. First of all, you're cooking in a kitchen that is completely different than anything you've ever known. You're cooking in a different manner, in a different way, and somebody else's way of doing things that I would say all of us that were in that group, including myself, had never really, been to that level and that demanding, of an operation. And so to be dropped in there and just go, it
was nonstop.
You can't. You really. I don't know if there's any way you can prepare for that. But I think going into that, if I told myself, I was prepared, ready to go, I think it would be an absolute failure. Because you can't. You have to be open to knowing that you're not going to be prepared.
Right.
And you have to understand that. Because there isn't any way you're going to be prepared for that. And if you tell yourself, I'm ready to go, I'm prepared, I think it'll work against you.
So fast forward, and we're on Hell's Kitchen, and Gordon actually famously called you the biggest comeback chef in the history of Hell's Kitchen. So what was it about your story arc on the show that gave you that name? What happened to you?
I think it was the multiple eliminations that I may have broke the record for the most eliminations known to mankind on that show.
I believe you do hold the record for, what was it?
I appreciate that.
Seven
eliminations.
The most for any winner.
How many shows are there on that show?
There was 12 or 13. 12, yeah.
Well, there's 19 contestants.
Or 19 contestants.
But
So there's got to be. There's probably 20 shows,
20.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Let's
should
say
know
20
this.
shows.
It's my show. Yeah.
unless they had some doubles.
So there were actually 13 shows I was not up for elimination.
Wow.
Hey.
Hey.
Wow.
That was
Not
good.
bad. Not bad. That's a Survivor.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, Survivor.
Yeah.
You could have done that one. There you go.
Yeah.
But at any point during those eliminations, did you feel like that's over, I'm going to quit, or this isn't for me?
I don't. No, I mean there was never a point that I wanted to go home. There was never a point that I wanted to be done. I couldn't go home. That was not the point of being there. And so at the end of the day, I knew the decision wasn't up to me. And at some point, I let it go to say, listen, all I'm going to do is do everything I can every single day. I'm going to, speak my piece, and it's up to Chef to decide. It's not up to anything else. It's not up to everybody else's decision. It's up to his decision to decide when it's my time to go home. And so I was fortunate enough to not.
Have
go
you
home.
burnt a slice of pizza since that one episode? I have to know. That was a little scary.
I'm sure I have. Yeah. You know what's crazy is I have a wood-fired oven at home, and I make pizza all the time. But when you're set up with some different circumstances through the shows, and and you don't overcome certain things fast enough, those things can happen pretty quickly on you.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And who did there was one episode with Minnie Driver and the fish.
Oh yeah, the
Was
salmon.
that you?
It was me.
That was you.
Me.
That's right.
I think I actually tweeted out after the show aired an apology for overcooking her salmon.
Did she tweet back?
She did not. She did not. But
Has she been to the restaurant?
I don't know if she
We're
had
gonna
or
have
not.
to. Yes.
So maybe an e-invite.
There you go.
Yeah.
At any point in the show when you're, well, I mean, with 7 elimination rounds, it was not really possible to gain some momentum as much. But did you feel like you were going to win at any point? Was it in your head that this could be a real possibility? That
Never once did it cross my mind. Of course, you go in there with the attitude that you're going to do your best. And you don't know what that's going to look like on the other side, but you just go in. I just went into it with knowing I was just going to do everything I could on a personal level, just do everything I could to try to continue on the show and continue in the competition. But never once, even going to before I opened the door on the last day, did I still did not, in my mind figure I was going to win. And that's just part of my personality, I just do everything I can every single day, and hope it's good enough.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you do things very well.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I was happy about that. So up against Jason at the very end.
Yeah.
And you just said getting ready to pull that handle. So we just have to always ask, I mean, when it actually opened,
Yeah.
what does that feel like? I mean, I cry. I cry when I watch it. I always cry.
That's nice. I was just kind of in shock because I had no idea it was going to be me coming through. It was just kind of the shock and awe, but putting it all together, seeing my family down the stairs and yelling and everything, it just kind of took over the whole situation.
Right.
But unbelievable experience.
No, I know, and I think Gordon ended it by saying, Scott has such artistry on the plate, and he said that your palette was amazing. So it was a pretty big compliment.
Yeah. You hold those things in for quite some time.
Yeah,
when it comes from him, and really take everything he says to a very high level. So.
Oh, good. So now we're moving into our next section.
Yes.
Which is, it's basically the reality of reality TV, which is getting real with you. So getting real. Now it is. You've won the show. Won the show. You're at the pub and grill. So what happens now? Life after Hell's Kitchen, the branding. I mean, does this help with your branding for you as a
Absolutely.
chef? Where do you see yourself going from here?
Well, of course, with the pub now, I'm, looking to. I don't know exactly where I'm going to go now. I'm not in any really big hurry to make that decision. I'm working for a great, incredible corporation at the moment, and looking to see what's next on the horizon. That dream that I wrote down on that piece of paper, it's not a joke. It's something that is real, and that's something I'm always constantly pursuing. When the time's right,
And one reality of winning this show was that you had to relocate.
Yeah.
Your whole family. Mm-hmm. And I think people don't underestimate that's a huge step to have to take.
You bet.
How has adjustment been, from the dairy farm to the desert, really?
Yeah, well, luckily I was in the dairy farm and back there. But it's of course it's a transition, moving out here. But I have 2 young kids, Gwen and Gavin, and it's incredible. Children are so adaptable. You bet. And so it was an exciting adventure. For them especially, to come out, and we live in Henderson, just outside of Las Vegas, about 20 minutes, and it's beautiful, and we love the weather. The kids are outside constantly or in the pool. The school is fantastic, and we couldn't ask for a better place to be.
Right.
Away from home.
Hey, we're going on a trip.
Yeah. So we're very very fortunate where we are, and life in Vegas is good.
Good. Well, I'm so glad. Enjoy every minute, because this is the time to do it. It's like you've arrived.
Yeah.
Now enjoy it.
I know.
I know. So, Tim?
Yes.
Tim usually likes to give us a little game or something fun to do.
That's me.
I know, he always likes to infuse this. So, what is your game for us today?
So, it's game time.
Game time.
We're going to play a game with Scott. And Scott, you might actually be familiar with this game. We quizzed you in a similar fashion back in your audition round, part of which is in that tape that we didn't see this part. So in this game, we're going to hold up an ingredient, and Scott has to guess the ingredient, and on the spot, think of a recipe that includes said ingredient. So Scott, are you ready?
It just depends. Depends. All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
So, first pick.
Easy one.
One sec, guys.
Sure.
It's going to come back to you.
Yeah? Uh-oh. I don't even remember. Half of these.
Don't give any hints.
Technical difficulties, guys. I'm sorry.
I can't help it. I always give hints. I can't. It's like I'm giving presents. I have to tell what the present is.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes, those are the ferns. Those are the fiddlehead ferns.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you would.
Okay.
This one.
All right, he got the ingredient.
Yeah,
now let's
ding,
hear
ding,
it.
ding, ding.
Fiddlehead ferns, best way. A little brown butter, garlic, a little wine. Easy, cheesy. Keep them as fresh as possible.
Simmered, sautéed.
Just saute them.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Great. Little blanched saute. You can do that, but no, they're great.
One out of one.
Here we go. One out of
Okay.
one.
Next.
Yeah. No idea. I didn't know last time either.
Yeah, that's right.
You remember?
I didn't know last time either.
Do you remember?
I don't. Yeah.
That's what we were trying to stump you.
We're having a little fun with Scott right now. He actually wasn't able to recognize this ingredient on his first audition.
Yeah.
But that is a mangosteen.
Mangosteen.
That's right. So we'll never show you a mangosteen again.
you.
I'm sure you never want to see a mangosteen again.
That's good. I'm gonna learn how to cook with it now. Then. I should have last time.
We're gonna take you up on that.
What was I thinking?
That's right. I don't even know what a mangosteen is.
Okay.
Have you ever had a mangosteen?
I've never heard of a mangosteen.
Yeah, we had it.
Okay.
But I learned a lot through casting these shows. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Final picture. So we're 1 out of 2.
Yeah.
This is the last one I got.
Gordon Ramsay's pub burger?
Yes. Okay. We just threw that in there. We want to make sure that you recognize your.
Actually, do you know what? That is not the pub burger.
What's that?
That's not the pub burger.
Oh, it's not? What is it?
No, that is our BLT. That is our BLT with some maple cured bacon and a house-made English muffin. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, see, we thought it was the pub burger.
Well, either way,
It
it
is
looks.
not the pub burger.
Oh, okay.
Either way,
Okay.
it looks delicious.
It looks delicious.
That's all
and
that
we wanna
matters,
go
right?
there.
Mango.
Yeah,
He
we wanna
recognized
do-
it.
Mangosteen.
Yeah, I know, it was funny. We had to do the
Yeah.
mango
We
steam.
got to do the mangosteen.
Well, thank
It's
you.
fun.
2 out of 3. He passed. Flying colors. And so, our next segment is actually. We're going to learn a little bit from Sheila Conlon herself. So our topic today is competition reality shows, and who better to get advice from on how to successfully try to get yourself on one of these shows than Sheila. So Sheila, without further ado.
On the spot. Here we go.
on the spot.
No, well, this is the fun part, and it is at the right time to start giving out some advice about applying for TV shows, because there's so many out there, but competition shows for me, I think, are the most fun, the most rewarding, and actually the most exciting. So I'm happy to talk about this today, and especially since you can win big on a competition show. I mean, Hell's Kitchen, head chef at a high-profile restaurant, that's huge. That's a huge payoff. And Survivor, Amazing Race, $1 million. Okay, you could put yourself through weeks of hell for that, right? And The Voice, American Idol, big recording contract, Master Chef, a book, So competition shows to me are like the ultimate. However, let me start with our tips, because I'll have to refer to some of my notes to make sure I give you the right tips.
Of course.
Okay, first of all, you have to decide which show is right for you. So pick the right show. If you're not a cook, if you haven't had line experience or culinary training, don't go to Hell's Kitchen because it won't work, right?
That's true.
Not the right choice.
Don't do it.
They really put you to the test.
Oh my God! Well, you have to know something. Yes,
Yeah.
you have to know something. Go to Master Chef. So really, number one, picking the right show. And how do you pick the right show? Look at the eligibility and the criteria. It's always listed on the casting notice or on the website. Read that. Pay attention to that. And you have to know if it resonates with you. Survivor, that's endurance, stamina, problem solving, but that's putting yourself in some pretty dangerous situations and survival situations. That's why I call it Survivor. So the good news is if it's been on the air, you can tune in and you can take a look. Is that show right for you or not? And if it hasn't been on there, it's a brand new show, well, you know what? You're going to take your chances, be exciting, get out there and compete. Number 2 is be prepared. So do your homework. Make sure that you know what you're applying for. So, you're picking the right show. Now, what does it entail? You got to be away from your home for 12 weeks. Well, are you sure you can do that? Don't go through the whole process and then find out, oh my God, I have to leave home. I'm going to be sequestered. I can't talk to anybody. Oh, I can't leave my job. Well, then that was sort of a waste of time.
Yes.
So, be prepared, figure out, know all the criteria that we need. We're demanding. We demand a lot of you, a lot of paperwork. If any of you have tried out for my shows, there's lots of paperwork. And you have to do that and you have to be committed. Okay, it's hard work trying out for a show. I mean, there's lots of auditions and a lot of stuff to do.
But there's potential huge payoff.
Well, right. That's the thing. So you do have to put in the time. So be prepared and be committed. And I would say number 3, be authentic. I can't stress this enough. I mean, since day one of reality for me and starting to meet people, to be on these shows, interviewing these shows, that was my number one thing, is that, authenticity. They're really who they are. Because it's about real people and trying, competing against each other to win something, having the courage to stand up, try something different, and authenticity. Be yourself. That is so important.
Because that shines through when that's when someone's being inauthentic.
And good casting directors like me, we can see right through that.
Yes.
We can tell in a second if you're full of baloney or not. And yes, absolutely. And you've got to stick with it. You have to give 100%. Number 4, I would say filling out the application. Sort of what we were talking about before. The interview process, which is coming up next, is important, but filling out that application is so important because when you sit down to write and answer a question, there's a different feeling and a different thought process. And that's something that I look at. And I always read the application before I interview someone because there's so much to gain, so much to learn from you on that application. So I always say, Be descriptive in your answers. Don't give me a one-word answer. What's your favorite color and why? Well, my favorite color is blue because I like it. No, my favorite color is blue is because when I was little, my grandmother gave me a blue teddy bear, and I've just never stopped loving that color blue. Really pour out what that means to you.
Bring it to life.
Yeah, bring it to life and tell why.
Yeah.
Don't leave anything blank. If it doesn't apply to you, just put NA. But leaving it blank, I was like, what, do they space out for a minute? Do they leave it alone? Was it incomplete? And we talked about, Scott, you filling out your application, how important it was to me to make sure you made it to the finals, because I really liked your answers. And you hit it right on the nail, or hit the nail on the head. Nail on the head. Your culinary dream, own a restaurant. Boom. I want somebody who wants that goal. And where you wanted to grow with your culinary. You loved what you did. So those are really key points. Really look at those answers. It means a lot. Don't hurry through it. Take your time. Number 5, what are competition shows about? Competition. So you have to be competitive. And I know there's many different ways to be competitive, but on a competition show, you have to bring it. That is the energy and the drive. And you have to already know in your head that you're the winner. I mean, I want to see that when I interview with you or read it on the paper. You are the winner, and you are going to win because, otherwise why compete? Oh, I want to compete, but I don't, if I come in 4th or 5th, that's okay. No. I need to know that everyone I interview is going to be the winner.
And you have to want to be the best because it's your skills on display on the show and those challenges.
And of course, the winner doesn't always necessarily mean you have to win the show, but you're going to put your best foot forward. Just speaking of Alice Kitchen, there's so much more that I learned about myself as an individual than there's more than that than winning the show.
Right.
I took so much more away from that show than winning a prize at the end and a job, whatever the case is. But you learn so much more about yourself and what you can take and what you can handle and how, and who you are as an individual. So you are representing yourself every single day, being on TV, which is a hard thing to do to begin with, but really to kind of get to the bare minimum. So you may not win, but it's what you can take back from that.
Right, and I think it's that attitude that I want to see, and the courage.
Yeah.
The courage to just get out there and take that risk.
Right.
Put yourself out there 100%, because that's really what it is, and then you'll be surprised at what you learn. Like you just said, what you learn about yourself. Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing journey. Strategy, strategy comes to play sometimes on different shows. And I think people, I think the only strategy I really want to look at is like, well, if you lose a little competition, how are you going to try better? Are you a sore loser? Are you a happy loser? Those kind of things. I want to see how you react to it or how you're going to try and do better. I want to hear that, I don't want to hear if you lose a little challenge that you're going to go, I'm going to cry and go home. No, I want to know that you're going to pick up and keep going. I can't have quitters. Not on a competition show. You can't be a quitter. Then number 6, the interview. So the interview is super important, obviously, because that's the one-on-one when you get to know you and then the, the energy and face-to-face. But that's your one shot. I have to get to know you in 7 minutes?
And that's the
10
fun
minutes?
part for Sheila.
Yeah.
The interview.
So I say, getting to know you in the interview, it's you must stand out. You must engage. You must have energy. And you have to have a story. There's some story. It's what is your story? Something from your childhood, something where you want to go, something that happened. I need to know an emotional emotional or memorable, something about you, who you are. I think everybody has a story. So I'm going to bring that story to life. And be descriptive, Sometimes stories can just be remembering something that happened. But when you're talking to me, it's like, tell me that. Again, no one-word answers. It's like, last time, when did you learn how to cook? Oh, my God, when I learned how to cook, I was in the kitchen with my grandmother, and I could smell the bread, and it was this, and I was trying to peer over the stove, and, stories, like, really bring that back to life. That engages with me, and that's important. What to wear, important. Stand out, be unique, but, you don't have to go crazy. If you wouldn't wear an orange shirt, don't wear it just for the sake of standing out. So, be true to that. your attitude, your energy, you got to want it. You got to have the passion. You got to have the motivation. Scott showed that. I mean, that was your first interview, and you were on it. I mean, you just came through 100%. Vulnerable, cry, laugh, scream, whatever that is, whatever the moment is. And that you're also unaware if there's a camera there or not, which you were totally unaware. That camera was rolling. You just talked, and you just answered those questions, and it was so awesome. So basically, those are my 6 tips right now. Of course, on each show, we'll get a little bit deeper into some of these. But, you know, what I look for is to recap your story, tell it with emotion, be descriptive, your attitude, your energy, motivated, reliable, relatable, uninhibited, and stakes. Make sure you have stakes. Why do you want to do this? You know, if this is just something you want to do to pass the time, it's going to show. I really want to know why you want to do this. And my one extra insider tip of the day is going to be, I know my insider tip, we're checking our time to make sure we have the right time, is make sure you know who is casting the show that you're applying for. Okay, so very important. If it's a Gmail address, a Yahoo address, be a little wary of that. I mean, all of my castings come from the Conlon Company. Trusted brand. You know where to find it. You know what shows they've been doing. So many people are out there. They're asking you for information. You're getting on the phone with them, telling them this, sending them this information. Please, please make sure. We had an incident in Hell's Kitchen where someone was charging people as they were trying to audition. They were circumventing. So be wary of fraud. And then also to make sure there's a website. You know, even if they can't tell you a lot about a new show, make sure you know who this person is. Who have they worked for? Who are they working for? You can ask those questions. So I just want you to be very careful of that. So that's my insider
Fantastic
tip.
That's
good.
I know. Okay, so that's tips of the day for competition shows.
All right, we're going to quiz you all on all of that later.
Okay, so we're running
you're taking notes.
we're a little bit short on time, but Tim, can you tell us just a few things about the Emmy nominations coming up?
Sure. So the Emmy nominations were announced last week, and Reality has a few categories. So since we're with the winner ourselves, let's go through a few of them and see who he has his bets on. Outstanding host is Tom Bergeron with Dancing with the Stars, Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn for Project Runway, Anthony Bourdain for The Taste, Jane Lynch for Hollywood Game Night, and Kat Deely for So You Think You Can Dance. Scott.
Anthony Bourdain, come on.
Anthony Bourdain.
Come on, forget it.
Sheila?
I got the same.
Yeah.
Anthony
All right,
Bourdain.
Come on.
And Unstructured Reality Program. Alaska, The Last
even mean?
Frontier, Discovery Channel, Deadliest Catch, Intervention, $1 Million Listing in New York, Naked and Afraid, and Wahlburgers. We have to give a shout out to Deadliest Catch. Our guest last week was Josh Harris, who was fantastic, so that he's on that show. So congratulations, Josh. Who do you think is going to take it?
Well, I mean, I think Deadliest Catch, but Alaska, the Final Frontiers, they're doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, that one interesting. I'd say Deadliest Catch for me because that's the best one I know.
Good answer. Okay. And in casting news in the reality TV world, it's always exciting to see who's being fired or rehired or resigning or quitting
Tim
from
has all the
our
gossip.
housewives gossip. So apparently in the last few weeks, these have been a few of the announcements. Claudia Jordan is reportedly gotten the boot after just one season on Atlanta. Brandi Glanville, highly publicized, firing, quitting, resigning. We don't know the exact terms, but she will no longer be on the show. Heather Thompson, Us Weekly, is reporting that she will no longer be on the show for New York. And Nene Leakes has announced from her own mouth that she has left the Atlanta Housewives.
Wow.
So, and finally, you have more Kardashian content on its way. Khloe Kardashian will be doing a show on FYI Network called Cocktails with Khloe. Khloe Kardashian style dinner party.
Isn't that cute?
Yes, she's one of the three. She's not one of the younger ones.
I was going to say,
She's the youngest of the three. Yes, very.
Okay, because I'm thinking of the two young ones.
And she will be an executive producer on the show. So you have that to look forward to, Scott. After a long shift at the Pub and Grill.
See you in Vegas.
Maybe she'll have cocktails at your place.
See you in Vegas.
There you go.
We've got great cocktails.
You do, yeah.
Great cocktails. We got a great staff.
Oh my God!
And that's your reality in the news.
Thank you, Tim, for
You're
the reality
welcome.
in the
Absolutely.
news. I love that. Well, Chef Scott, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks so much. It's been great.
I know
A lot of fun.
this is already almost over, and I have to wrap it up. It's crazy.
wrap it up.
But no, such a pleasure to have you.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
as I said to you earlier on, I knew when I saw you and I saw your interview, I was like, this guy's something different, unique, and I'm so happy that you made it
You're
to the
too
win.
sweet.
Congratulations
Thank you so much.
on all of your
Thank you,
success.
Thank you.
Yes, we're going to
Yes.
come out and visit you.
Come on to
Yeah.
this
I know.
Pub and Grill.
I know.
Gordon Ramsay's Pub and Grill.
Thank you for
right.
being our
Let's
guest
do it.
today.
I know.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. And so next week on Breaking Into Reality, our guest is going to be Ariane Resnick, the author of The Bone Broth Miracle.
Yes.
And she was also, I believe she was a contestant on Chopped. So we'll talk more about competition shows.
Yes.
Other than that, I want you to remember Breaking Into Reality. Do you have what it takes? Are you right for reality TV? Find out on Breaking Into Reality.
Facebook us at The Conlin Company, Twitter us at ConlinCoTV, and Instagram us at ConlinCoTV. And you can tweet me as well at TFreddyLA.
And Scott at
Oh, Scott.
Yeah. Fork to mouth.
Fork to mouth.
To MOUTH.
Instagram at Scott Commings.
Oh,
Yes.
there you go. Awesome.
Beautiful.
All right.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.